We had a customer who we sent out a new Porcupine controller to for a swap truck, and he said it wasn't working. So we were just pull the swap truck in and we just temporarily install it on this. Most of our units we will test on our own vehicles before we ship out. So when we have a customer who has a problem, we just put it on our vehicle again and test it and see if it's a problem with their vehicle or with their install, or if it's an actual problem with the controller. So some of this stuff is a little bit tough because of the install. We do it on a regular basis, so we know exactly how to do it, and we try to just make sure our customers are informed on how to do it the best we can. So this is what we get to do on a daily basis.
So we're here by the truck that is now known as Charity Case. It's a truck that we're planning to run in 590 this year. Just wanted to talk with you guys about a few things about the roll cage that was in this truck. We ended up cutting it all out last night. On first impression, when you look at it, it's like, oh, truck has a nice 850 cage, should be ready to go. When you pull the carpet back on the floor, you realize that most everything has been run to plates on the floor of the cab. So there was really no great way of fixing it. When we dug in further, we found a decent number of incomplete welds. If you look here, this was on the back side where you couldn't really see things very well, but really sloppy welds. There was a number of places where welds weren't complete, but this was the front down bar, and it was just plated to the cab. The main hoop was plated to the cab. The only place that anything was even run to the frame was the D-bars were actually run to the frame, so they had done one thing right out of about 6. But just kind of a heads up to you guys, if you're buying a used truck that has a cage in it, make sure you get under it, make sure that all your structure goes to the frame. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, no ways around it. The cage needs to run, be attached directly to the frame, cannot plate to the cab and expect that to be good enough. The only time you can get by with that is in a unibody configuration. So just a heads up to you guys, pay attention when you're buying used trucks with cages in them, and if you're building them, please do your research and do everything right the first time.
Hey guys, so a little bit more on Charity Case, the 590 truck that we're running. Last night last couple of days we figured out a little bit more. We thought the truck had a good 850 cage and everything else that goes along with that. The more we dug deeper into it, the cage was actually welded to the bed floor, or to the cab floor, and didn't have outriggers, nothing that would pass the certification that we need to run 590. And so we cut the whole thing out last night. As you can kind of tell, the truck still had a full interior, so we took headliner, floor, all the panels out. It still had a bunch of the factory wiring in it. We tried to take as much of that out as we could. So we're gonna hopefully get the cage back in it here in another week or so, so we can make it to Rudy's. We still have trans to put together after our explosion, and some other small stuff, and we should be ready to run here not too long.
Alright, we got Mark Robertson's truck on the dyno. It's an 03 with a full manual valve body in it. Has 200% S&S injectors. ATS dual fueler kit has a industrial injection 85% pump over a stock Duramax pump with a 476 turbo. Gonna see what kind of power we can get out of it and go from there. Alright, so we made a couple of pulls on Mark's truck. Ended up making 1,012 horsepower and 1,578 foot-pounds of torque. We're in the middle of trying to make a little bit more power. We're in the stabilized time, and we ended up breaking a dyno. And we don't have any spare parts. So unfortunately, our dyno session got cut a little bit short on Mark's truck, but I will make sure that his tune is the way it needs to be, and we have a good idea of what kind of power it makes. So we will call it a day.